Hi, Facebook. It's Gerry. We're coming live today from Guanacaste, Costa Rica. I'll give you a couple minutes so that some people can hop on. Again, this is from Rythmia Life Advancement Center in Guanacaste, Costa Rica, where we are a life advancement center that specializes in metaphysical teachings, in sacred plant medicine combined with metaphysical teachings to bring about these changes in people. And we're a pretty unique place because we use ayahuasca and in these metaphysical teachings. We had a tremendous speaker this week, Dr. Gabor Mate, which was an incredible week. Had about 60 people here this week. We've about 80 coming today. Next week is Kyle Cease. And we have, what makes our place a little different is when people check out, they're given a survey, and about 945 out of every 1,000 people through our doors have this life-changing miracle. And to be real quick about what this place is about and how we use sacred plant medicine like ayahuasca to bring about this change, is that the place is founded on a principle or a theory. And the theory is that all people, something happens in everybody's life to separate them from their soul. And what we focus and specialize in here is reconnecting them or re-merging them with their soul. Real quickly, my story, my name is Gerry Powell. You can look me up and Google me and all that and find out that my story is true. I became a millionaire in my 20s. I became a multimillionaire in my 30s. In my 40s, I sold a company for $90 million, 94 million to be exact. But my life was terribly out of control, and something came in and saved my life. And it was this whole process here of using plant medicine with spiritual teachings and metaphysical teachings. But we believe that when you were born, that something happens to make you leave your soul for safety. And in this leaving of the soul, that this separation, that all disease, all disorder, all addictions, and all sadness stem from this separation. And in addition to that, it leaves a mark on your subconscious mind that says, I'm not enough. And by putting this back together, and it's not the rare person who gets the benefit of this. It's almost everybody who comes through our place gets the benefit of having this happen. And I'm going to ask you that if at any time throughout this you're interested and you want to talk to somebody, you can speak to them live at 866-936-9446. And they're there just to answer any questions you'd have, or even if you're thinking about coming down. And I want to tell you, if you are thinking about coming down, you better book it quickly, because we started this, we had our first workshop in January of 2016, which is exactly 2 years ago, and the business triples or quadruples every year. At this time next year, we'll be out of rooms completely, probably booked a year in advance. Right now, I think their space is open in April, May, and June and stuff like that, but they won't be for long. So what we're doing here is really unique. It's unique in the psychological world. It's unique in the plant medicine world. It's unique in the spiritual world. It's unique in the metaphysical world. It's a very unique process. And so I want to first tell you that when we're done today, I'll answer any questions that anybody has about the process and about what's happening. I can't do it because I'm on a Mevo right now. I can't even say hi because I don't know who's there. But as soon as I'm done with this, I'm going to go back to my computer and I'm going to answer each and every question and say hi to everybody. I want to say hello to my mother, who's in Pennsylvania. She's 85 years old. Hi, Mom, I love you. And to my wife, who I miss so much, beautiful Brandy, I love you guys. And I just want to get into what happened this week. So this was a crazy week. We had Dr. Gabor Mate, who was helping us. We had our normal protocol of 4 different plant medicine journeys Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. I watched a group of about 65 people go through this process, and all of them, without exception, I believe, got their miracle and got merged back with their soul. We have a beautiful soul with us today, who her name is Balin, and she went through this process with us. And every week I take one person and we talk in specifics without being rehearsed or any of this stuff. We talk in specifics about what happened to them this week and how this thing, and I'm going to tell you the most beautiful part about this thing, and I'm going to ask you to share this because people in the world need to know that this place exists and that this kind of happiness is real. The beautiful part about this process is that when it happens to you, it's yours for the rest of your life. Even death does not take it away. This is something that is given to you. It's re-given to you. It's already yours. You just don't realize it. And this act of coming back together gets given to you, and it really is yours, and nobody in the world can take it away. So I'd like to invite Balin to come up and have a seat with us, and we're going to talk about a little bit about things. So hi, Balin. You got to get more in the scene here. You can move over a little bit. So hi, honey. So tell me, Balin, you're from I don't know.
From New York City.
From New York City, and tell me from Brooklyn, and but born in the Dominican Republic.
Yes.
And what do you do in Brooklyn?
I am a modern dancer at Alvin Ailey American Dance Theater in Manhattan.
Fantastic. And prior to first off, how did you hear about this place? About this crazy place?
I believe it was a year ago. I need to really get that. It's either a year or a year and a half ago. Anyway, I saw the Reality of Truth video. It just kind of came to me. I was looking for something else positive always, and it came, and I saw it, and I was like, oh my God, I need to go. I need to go tomorrow. And I didn't have the funds yet, but I told my two best friends, Delinda and Mickey, and I was like, we're going, girls trip, and let's manifest it, but I'm thinking maybe in 5 years. But on my 30th birthday this year, October 20th, my incredible older sister, who I found out is even more incredible than I could have imagined, she said to me, oh, where have you been wanting to go for a while? And I was like, I don't know, I'm thinking something local, I don't know, like some camping trip. And she was like, no, really, where would you like to go? And I thought, why not just tell her? If she says no, I don't know what she wants, let's see. And I said, well, there's this place called Rythmia. I really, I've been wanting to go, and it's so amazing. I just want to change my life. Like, I don't want to be like this anymore. And she said, okay, just send me the information, and I will contact them, and we'll do it next week. And I was like, what? I started crying, like, are you serious? And she paid for it.
How nice is that?
Even to the point where the few days before, she was like, here's $1,000, whatever you need.
God bless her.
So
that's a good
she
sister.
said, I don't want you to stress. She just,
the world needs more sisters like that.
She just went like that. Yeah, she's my angel.
Can I ask you something? So before coming here and hearing about all these different things, were there things that you were afraid of about coming to the place?
I wasn't afraid. I wasn't afraid because I was so ready for change. I was so broken, and I was like, what do I have to lose? I've been fighting my way through life, trying to be better, trying to be stronger, trying to be connected in every way. I mean, I'm an aggressor. I fight for what I want. I have courage even in fear.
No, I know, I see it.
And
I journeyed next to you.
Yeah.
I know. I saw it in action, actually.
Oh, awesome. Yeah. So I fight my way through everything, even if it means hurting myself. And so I knew that I was done. I was done fighting. I had no more left. And the fact that my sister gave me this gift, I was just grateful, if anything. So not scared, just ready.
So let me ask you this. So you fly down from New York and land in Liberia. You get here. And what was your first impressions of the thing? What is
I said, this is awesome.
Is that right?
Because when you arrive, they give you like coconut water. When I've tried coconut from water from like, the store, and I'm like, ugh. But this was like, oh my God, what is that? I'm surprised I haven't gotten more. I've been juicing, but it was everything. There was so much love and everything. The snacks were amazing. I was like, I've never had food this good.
You were ready. I
was ready on every level.
And let me ask this: was there some fear when you first saw?
There was some fear.
Tell us about your fear.
So, for example, even on my way to here, the ego was still very much the fear that I've been carrying around for longer than I could bear. Was still there in the background. It was telling me like, what if you don't get your miracle, or like, are you gonna be okay? Like, is it gonna happen for me? It's like this makes me want to cry at the fear of it. Yeah, it's just like, what if it doesn't happen, or and then what next? I have nothing else to fight for. Like this was it. This was the one the shining star I've been waiting for. Location to help me, and I was just scared. Even at the airport, I thought that things would get in my way to get there. I was just like, God's gonna make it for me. God's gonna find a way. God's gonna find a way. To the point where I was like literally running last minute to get to my plane because the line was so long. Like there was all these. It was like she was already testing me, Mother Ayahuasca, in trust, because I was just like, okay. Usually I panic, which is like my number one thing. Panic and freak out never helps, but somehow the ego loves it. And I told myself, no, there's going to be a way. I didn't call her she at the beginning. I just said, God, there's going to be a way, there's going to be a way. And everything unraveled. And when I got on the plane to Costa Rica, I was like, I'm already there. They can't stop me. I'm already there. And when I arrived, once I got off the plane, I was
It felt great. Can I ask you something? Yeah. So, like, for a lot of the people, when you first heard the workshop and how the separation was, did you believe in that? Did you buy into the fact that there was separation?
Absolutely. Okay. I read a lot. I think that's helped me a lot into how deep she took me. Because I understood her language very well. Because I love to understand this reality. Like,
okay, but before you did the work, after the workshop, but before you drank the medicine.
Before I drank the medicine, I believed it because I had read enough to know that the world is really crazy. Like it's really it's much deeper than we can imagine. Yep. So when I saw it, I was like, this makes sense. This this is great. Tell me more. Like I was just absorbing it because. Everything had prepped me for this moment. I just kept hearing truth, and I also felt love, right? It felt safe. The way you guys, thank you, Gerry, for the way you've managed this facility, because there was so much space for me to say, I trust these people because I see it in them, right? That's how you trust your parents, because that's how you raise children. You lead by example, and that's how I felt. I felt very nurtured. I felt very comfortable because you guys reflected it.
So now, the first night. So on a normal day here on a Monday, we have classes in the morning, workshops in the morning, and then in the evening you drink medicine for the first time. Yes. So most people, not you, but most people are kind of afraid when it comes to the point of drinking the medicine.
I was afraid.
Okay, then tell us.
I was afraid, but again, I'm used to being afraid. I live in fear, but I still do it, and I also believe that there's a better way.
So tell me, when you're drinking that, what were you afraid of?
I was just like, I don't know what this shit is. I don't know what this shit is, but I believe that something great is coming.
Oh, that's well said. I like it. That's very honest.
I was like, I don't know, but please help me. Yeah. And you were explaining, because you told your story, I had an idea of the kind of journey that was possible. So I'm thinking, ready for anything. I was ready to like puke and ready to, purge and ready to, I was just like, okay, I'm ready for you to just take me.
And what happened
I was scared though, because I was like, go to the bathroom. I was like, make sure everything's okay. I was like eating till 2, like shoving food in my ass because I wasn't used to that. So I was prepping myself because I was scared. I didn't know what to expect. And I laid there and I was ready for these crazy, scary, or whatever, maybe great, maybe bad, but all I knew, everything's going to be good. Right. At the end of the day, it's going to be good for me. So
and so what happened? Tell me what happened. So you drank the medicine, say your prayer.
I said my prayer, but my prayer was like this. I was like, it was aggressive. I went into her like that, like, do it.
Yeah.
Please, not even please, just show me, like aggressively. And so I was just like, you know, just please, I just want to know, like very not loving, just like.
Like factual.
Sure, factual.
And what happened?
I laid there, and all I felt was pain in my solar plexus and in my belly button. And I was like, what the hell is this?
No, I understand.
Because, you know, I heard your amazing story. Yeah. So I was like, okay, well, let me just lay here. And I waited. And I waited some more. And I was roaming around. But every time I came back to my body, I was like, that's all I felt. And that's all I felt that night. Literally.
The whole night.
So all I did, I think we only had one that night.
You might have only had one.
Oh,
yeah.
maybe.
Yeah, because when you were going.
No, I did take another one. But nothing changed. So I just roamed around the park outside. So she did nothing. She explained why after.
Okay, so let's go to the second night.
Second night, I came. So I realized, I reflected on that night, and I was like, I came fake. I convinced myself, and I did. I came to her as I was not being myself.
You were fake.
I was being fake.
Okay,
I was
That's
being
very honest.
I was being the person I had learned to be out there, as in like manipulative, like you know, like come on, do it for me, like you know, like all the flaws that I've built trying to survive. Yeah. Was I think the first night's approach, and then the second night I felt so bad
about that.
About how I've lived my life, how I've been.
But okay, so now in our process, this is important.
Yeah.
In our process is show me who I become, number one. And what she just said was all of a sudden she got a glimpse of holy fuck, what did I become?
But that was reflecting after.
That but that's how it works, right? So now, boom,
I started crying right before, and I felt like shit. I was like, I'm fake, and I've been a liar, and I've been manipulative, and I wrote it down. I was so angry. So when I went to the ceremony, you had said, you know, come. She wants you vulnerable, so come, like, don't even, like,
as a child.
As a child. And so I was about to shower. I was like, you know, don't shower. I'm not gonna do nothing. I was like, I almost was hurting myself, like putting myself down. It was so bad, the shame I gave myself, or that I was living with, because it was reality. So it was the other side of the ego, right? Yeah. I was waiting for the cup like this, like my whole body was slumping, and I couldn't even hold I couldn't even hold my head up.
Like
I
sad
was crying like crazy.
Perfect.
And that night, she just I laid down, and only those two places were bothering me.
Your stomach and your belly button.
Yeah, my solar plexus and my belly button. And I have felt my solar plexus hurting like that for over a year now.
So it wasn't a new pain, okay?
That one wasn't new, but the belly button was
a new thing. So now Wednesday comes, and mind you, each day we're in classes and workshops. So now there's another workshop Wednesday, and then boom, now we've a feminine goddess night here, and so the women serve medicine. And tell me what happened.
So first of all, I need to say that everything that I was doing during the day, I learned this is a practice. This is not just in the ceremony.
Correct.
I have to be practicing all day how I want to approach the ceremony. Yep. And also everything I was hearing was feeding me for the moment. So by the time I got there the third day, I came as myself. And I said, I'm sorry. I'm sorry for the way I've approached you so far. And I just want to be honest. Actually, that's the first day I sat in the bed and I saw that I had this book. And I purchased it, and I thought it was pretty because I was like, I'd like to live in a world like that. Like magical or whatever, and it just hit me that this is Mother Ayahuasca, and I was like, it was like a revelation that everything was about to come together. And so I sat there. Oh, it's craziness. My body shakes at the thought of everything. Okay, where does it begin? I laid there again after the first one, and I felt those two places again, and I just waited, and I was like, what does this mean, Mother? What does it mean? And eventually, Gabor had just answered one question of mine in his lecture. I asked him, how does it work? Like, sometimes my baby self, I comfort her, and I'm like, she's still like crying, and I don't know. I don't have children, and I'm the youngest, so I never mothered children. I don't know. And eventually I'm just like, I gotta work, and I leave, and he's like, well, that's what she wants. She wants you to stay. You never stay. You always leave her. And I was like, oh shit. And then his wife said, and she could tell the difference as to who's approaching her.
Yeah.
That changed everything.
Because
then I realized my entire life I'm running from everyone and everything.
So, but I want you to stay on this. So you take the medicine.
I take them all, but it's
so
important
me,
because so once I realized I run away from her, I realized, oh shit, this is my baby self.
There
The
you
solar plexus, which has been calling me forever. So I realized I started talking to her as if she was my baby, like she was like I was feeling her. And I said to her, I'm not gonna leave you, I'm not gonna leave you, I'm not gonna leave you. And my mind would wander, and I'd leave her again, and I was, I'm so sorry. I'd come back, I'm so sorry, I'm still learning. And I was talking to her. Eventually, I couldn't see her. I was imagining her. Eventually, I was touching her head, and I literally mothered her until she felt safe. Even the second cup, I walked her. I imagined walking her to the second cup and saying, are you okay with this? She's like, yeah. We drank it, went to the bathroom together. We were together until she was comfortable enough to go play. Well, before she went to play, she calmed down, she trusted me. And then I felt an image of me being choked. And I knew it wasn't real, right? I knew it was not, it was in my mind. And I stayed calm, I stayed calm, I stayed calm. And eventually, when it unraveled, I realized I was hugging her so hard, I was suffocating her.
Wow.
And when I realized that, I was like, I'm so sorry. And she's like, it's okay. And in that point, by that point, she felt that I was sorry, and she ran away and started playing. So she was mine.
Fantastic.
So that's when
now that to me that what we teach, that's called a merger. That when you reconnect and retrust your soul, which is what that was, that you make a new pact, and now you're merged.
Yeah.
So
she didn't trust me yet, but she was comforted.
Okay, tell me, comforted. Okay.
She was comforted, but I think that was the merger for sure, because there was a communication that had happened.
Yeah, there's a trust.
There's a conversation.
Right. Yeah.
And then she was telling me, yeah, you're suffocating her. You have to let her go play and run wild, and when she's ready, she comes back, and then you love her, and you're there for her until she leaves.
And when you say she was telling me,
it was all happening in my head. She only spoke in conversation. It was the plant. It was the Mother Ayahuasca. It was God. It was all of it.
Yeah.
And she was saying, and I didn't realize it was happening. I was just going with it. And she was saying, you're suffocating her. And I was like, I know. It's just I love her. She's like, I know, but you're suffocating her. You have to let her run wild. She's a wild person. She's meant to go free. And I was like, I know, but and then I broke down as the mother. And I said, I can't bear her. I can't bear her getting hurt. What if she dies? I said, and that's my first big cry, like a child. Like I can't bear the idea of her dying. And I said, I need to know. I need you to take me to her death, and I need you to take me through it. I need to know you're going to be there for me. I need to know I'm going to be okay. And this is how she showed me, and I broke down. I was like, please, I can't bear it. She said, okay. I went to the bathroom eventually. I calmed down, went to the bathroom, and she says, okay, look around. I'm looking around. I'm peeing, whatever. Looking around, and she's like, you see how small it is and dark? I was like, yeah. And she's like, okay. You see how tight it is? You can stay here as long as you want. And I was like, okay. And then I had to get out, right? Because I'm done. Washed my hands. And she's like, and that's how easy it is to get out. And she's like,
wow.
She said, that's how you're going to get through it. And around me was everyone else. So the whole world is there to support me. So that's how she showed me that I'm going to be okay. I could move forward. Like, I can let her go and play.
Very good. Oh, so good.
That was, and then after that, she just kept having a conversation with me.
And okay, so that conversation happens. And then I see you the next morning.
And then I'm on cloud 9. I'm like,
yeah, I could see
my whole world was like.
You told me everything was brand new, And I said to you, wait, there's more. Yeah. And so then I did a little workshop, and then the day goes on, and then I came up, and then Thursday night I drank with you, and you happened to be sitting or laying right next to me.
Yeah.
And I watched what was going on with you. So tell us about that night. And then I'll tell you how this plays in to this happening. And by the way, what happened to her is not unique. This is happening to everybody who's here. But tell me, but yours was unique in the way that it happened. So tell us about Thursday night.
She works on me even on off hours.
Yeah, I know.
So The fourth day, I'm in trust to like the highest degree. I'm like, take me to the next level. And again, I'm ready for her to like not beat me up, but just take me wherever, because one night can't be that, and then the next night be better. Right? It's like, okay, you gotta take me low now. Let's go. And then how did it start? I took the first drink. I laid down. I set my intentions, and we said it in a group. And I kept thinking like, oh, I don't know what to say. But I said what was from my heart, and I'm glad I did, because that's exactly what has happened. So I laid down, and it just kind of waited. I waited. And what was the first initiation? It was effortless. Like I was chilling, and eventually I thought I was going to puke. I started feeling nausea. And I went over, right, like we said, to go over the bucket, and nothing was coming out. And I was like, what's happening? Nothing was coming out. And then I sat down, because eventually, like 10 minutes later, nothing was happening. So I sat there, and I was like, I started massaging myself. For work, I do this. I take care of my body. I'm a dancer. So I know how to massage my whole body. But this time, it was her through me. And she just didn't explain why. She just massaged my whole mind in detail. And I sprained my ankle before I got here. She worked on that one even longer. Eventually, that ended, and she said, you can lay down now. So I lay down. Then the second cup came, and I took that, and that's when the next phase was, she got me on my belly somehow. And that was her uniting with me with my umbilical cord. I didn't realize at the time. I was just laying, and eventually that's where she told me that my split was at, because I was waiting for like, what happened? I want to see a vision of what happened, why I am separated. And she said, you were so traumatized that the umbilical cord was cut when you were separated from your earth mother, your human mother, that you thought you disconnected from me, and you freaked out because you couldn't bear it. And she said, that's why I've been so gentle with you, because you're very sensitive. You're a sensitive soul, and I didn't want to hurt you. So, and she said, I never left you. So she says, anytime you want to reconnect with me, you could just do this pose. She taught me how to use my feet, how to use my hands.
So I wanted to say something. So in our way of looking at the world down here, and in what we believe to be true, is that you realize who you become. That gives you the opportunity to merge back with your soul, and then the next piece of it. So let's talk about now going to the next piece.
So in that moment, my ankle's hurting. So she's teaching me, okay, this is, how do I get my feet? Because I'm like, are you going to give me a surgery? I'm like, come on, give me a surgery. I really need to get back to work and not be stressed. And so she was showing me, she's like, it's in your head. You're going to be fine. You're going to be fine.
Beautiful.
So she's trying to show me what's the best. And then so she, this is called flexing the point in dance terms. And so she said, when you plie and you flex your foot, she's teaching me how to dance, how to use my body, how to use my feet. She said, this is, you breathe in. This is, it's reflective of giving to yourself. You have to take a deep plie so that you can really give. You can really point your feet. She's both teaching me how to live my life, how to give to myself, and to give to others in my language, in dance.
Beautiful.
So she taught me how to use my feet. And eventually, I'm good at, I learned a lot more about my legs, but I've never been able to use my arms. Like in my dance, it's like they're disconnected. Almost I didn't feel them. And I understand why now. And then she taught me how to use my arms. And at first, I was petrified. I tried, and it was so weak. And I just laid there. I was so scared. And they were singing, they were healing a group of people. So eventually, my feet were playing to the music, and I was just watching, because I was afraid to use my hands still. And she said, I'm not even going to force you. You take your time. Just like I mothered my baby self. She said, I'm not going to force you. When you're ready, you're going to start playing. And then I was ready. And then she taught me how to use my arms. And in doing that, she said, you're a healer. And while that was happening...
But didn't you already know you were a healer?
No. By that point, she told me I was a light warrior by that point.
Amazing.
And that's where this comes from, because I've been fighting my whole life. So she says, you're a light warrior, because in spite of that, I've still been giving light. And then she says, this is when she told me, you're also a light warrior. Because when I did this, when I was playing with my hands, I reached them out so far than I've ever reached before, when it was connected, and I was connected still to the umbilical cord. She said, you're also a healer. And it's just by being, and still they were healing people in the center, and I felt like I was assisting.
And healing them. Yeah.
Helping
No,
heal
I
them.
was watching some of this. So now,
Yeah.
so in our understanding of life, so what we do is we say, who have we become, merge us back with our soul, and then there's a final piece. Explain that final piece for us.
The final piece was
Getting a new heart.
getting a new heart. I didn't get that till the breath work.
Yeah. Okay, but explain it.
Yeah. So I did that, and I played for a while, and eventually, when I was ready, when I felt that I was safe enough to cut the umbilical cord, I let go. Oh no! But by that point, I also babied my baby self, and I'm a healer, so I healed the baby and set into motion that for the rest of eternity, when I'm born in a different lifetime, I'm so fragile that the moment the umbilical cord is cut, I told the baby, you have a choice. You don't have to choose fear. You didn't have a choice. You didn't know choice. But I want to give you the breath of choice at that moment. I want you to know that you can choose to open the door.
How beautiful.
And so I set that into eternity. So then
So you were busy.
I was busy.
Yeah.
Because there's a lot of stuff I want to unravel. And so when I was ready, I undid that, right? And I felt safe again. And, I had to learn how to use my body. Cool. Eventually, I was mesmerized with the window, and outside, I love nature. I've always loved nature. And I was there, and you said, oh, it's raining. It never rains. And I was like, oh, I love it. Eventually, she talked to me about my sister, and she's my first angel. And I was like, I know, isn't she great? She said, yes. She volunteered to come here. She wanted to be your light. And since she was young, she's always been my God. Anyway, I broke down crying over that. She explained that, and
I remember
out of gratitude.
I remember a lot of your crying was actually, gratitude. But a lot of it wasn't crying. Some people cry, and they're crying in outer space. You were actually crying in the Maloka.
I was in gratitude, like, oh my God.
And it was beautiful to see.
Thank you. I was like, thank you. My sister Catherine is.
So I want you guys are watching this. If you have any questions about this, I can't see because I have a Mevo right now. But when I get back to my computer, I'm going to answer all of your questions about this process and about what happened to her. But I want to go and fast forward a little bit. So we use two healing modalities that are primary, and we have a bunch of secondary healing modalities like massage and hydrocolonic cleanse and all kinds of stuff. But our primaries are plant medicine like ayahuasca and transformational breath work, which is rhythmic breath work, this thing. And so the three pieces to our puzzle are show me who I become, merge me back with my soul, and heal my heart. So let's talk about the heal my heart part, and then we'll talk about how you feel. Yes. So let's go to the heal my heart part. So my
heal my heart part, by this point she told me that I was both a tiger in my human form, which was from my mom.
Show your necklace.
And I had to get this to
You got to pick it up more and more.
This was before the breath work.
Okay. Got your tiger.
And then she also told me I was a fairy. I've been following butterflies now for years. And I've seen them everywhere. Okay. And so she told me that. And so I couldn't feel my wings, but it's okay. And in the breath work, I was ready. I was already on a different high. She took me even higher on that fourth day. So by this point, it's the fifth day. And I'm doing my breath work, and eventually, it's easier than that first day. So I was like, wow, there's so much breath flowing through me. Eventually, she was like, I was in labor. She was birthing me, and at the same time, she was teaching me how I was going to birth my children. Anyway, through the whole thing, my body was doing all this crazy shit. I was feeling sensations I had never felt. My body was trembling with emotion and feeling, and it was coming out of me. I was crying like crazy. And then eventually, I turned around at the end of it as I calmed down, and I felt I needed to go back to mother. And I went back to the umbilical cord. And in that moment, I don't know if there's time to explain it, but a lot of interesting things happened. Like I healed the relationship with my mom and my dad and forgave them. And I forgave the child, not forgave the child in me. I let the child in me go and play and run wild. I got the bravery, and I sent her back to Mother Ayahuasca, which was the tiger. It was really my courage. She was my courage. She was protecting me because I'm so sensitive. And then the last thing she did was there was this healing. She was, you know, in the documentary.
The Reality of Truth?
The other one. There's one that the beautiful woman that does the Hemalucent.
Oh, yeah. Foster and Kimberly Gamble.
Kimberly.
Yeah, yeah.
So in that documentary, I remember seeing this shape. What do you call that shape?
The helix.
The
Yeah,
helix.
yeah, yeah.
I'm glad I saw her documentary because what was happening, she through the umbilical cord, she was sending the baby home.
And that's the truth.
The umbilical cord was coming in, the energy was coming in through here, right? And I felt the energy this way, right? And then eventually it went this way. The energy was coming. She was pouring light from here to here.
And it was going this way.
And it was going this way.
Yeah,
then
yeah.
she went. Then it was all happening. She went that way and that way. So it was happening in every direction.
In and out, yeah.
And I could see. Oh shit! We live in this multi-dimensional reality. And once I was ready to detach, there was a little snake that had been planted on day 4 around my heart. She says when it's time, it would unravel because she was protecting my heart, and it went like that. And then I was safe. Literally, people had left the class. And it wasn't only then. It was when I was ready that I was able to detach. And I was shaking for the rest of the night, and my breath was like so deep. And now I feel like I'm merged.
Can I ask you this? So I believe wholeheartedly that you're merged, more than anything. And how do you feel in life? Tell them what you feel like.
My heart is so beautiful and big, and I always knew it, but never felt it. And there's so much more expansion than I knew that was possible, that it's still growing. There's breath in me I never knew I had. There's sensations in me I never knew I can feel. I feel like the entire universe is supporting me. This entire week has been an explosion of synchronicities like you can't imagine. She is speaking to me on every possible level, answering questions the moment I ask them, in people, in images, I write shit down, and all of a sudden it's answered like 30 minutes later. I mean, it's bananas. I feel a high I can't explain in words.
And if this was your family, right?
Yeah.
Would you, and they were thinking about coming to a place like this, what would you tell them?
Oh, it's so necessary. It's so necessary for you to feel this love and feel this supported, because it's there for us. She's there for us. The entire universe is there for us, and it feels like you're home when you can not just know it or hear it, but experience it. When you experience it, there's no way to doubt it. You know?
Yeah.
So
like when you're hearing it from a third person, but when it's happening,
when you
and
feel
the love of it, it's like try to just like what is there? Is there a word? I can never do it
There's no word. That's why magic. I love the word magic, and one of my the things I wrote right before the journaling before I got to Rythmia was I want to experience magic, and that's for me the best word, because you can't explain it. It's the unknown. It's imperfectly perfect, and it's undescribable.
Fantastic.
It's amazing.
So you would tell them to come.
A must.
Okay,
a
good.
must.
All right,
to
great.
heal the world, you know.
Yeah.
We want this generation. This place gives me the courage to be a part of this movement, but also it gives me certainty that as long as I have the intention, this reality is 1,000,000,000% possible. It exists. This loving world that everyone's just sharing and giving and loving and doing whatever the hell they love to do, and it's enough, is possible, because we're doing it right here every day.
I like it. I love that. Well, listen, I'm going to tell you. First off, you're delightful, and you're so in it. And when I watched you from the moment you got here, you were beautiful and you wanted it.
I do.
But I saw the fear leave you over the course of the week. So when I look at you, I'd say that was you with fear, and this is you without fear. And I'm really, really, I feel blessed to know you. And we thank you guys. And listen, by all means, whatever you're doing, share this if you think someone can benefit from this, because this simple act, these 3 things of realizing who we become, merging back with our soul, and having our hearts healed, puts us in alignment with the world in a way where you can actually go and experience love and beauty and fear and joy and really experience it and be in the world. And a lot of people, there was a woman here that was about 70 some that said to me, she says, I don't think I've been alive that I can ever remember. So this week she woke up to the world and doesn't even ever remember feeling the world before. So like, this is a miracle. This is really a miracle. And you want to come to realize this thing. We'd love to have you. Please, if you know anybody that could use this, share it. If you want to talk to someone about it, please call this number. People are there and they want to help you and talk to you. And by all means, if you're going to book into this place, do it now, because I'm telling you the truth. It won't be long before you'll be very, very hard to get in. So please come now while you can.
Can I say one more
Yeah,
thing?
yeah, please say something.
I just want to say it's 100% worth the investment. You know, I'm so thankful for my sister for giving me this opportunity. But if you have the funds, and even if you don't, find a way, manifest it in your heart and find a way to get here, because everything's possible. She's calling to you. Your miracle is like around the corner, and everybody deserves to know.
Aw, thank you,
And to feel it.
Thank you, love. Thank you, sweetheart. I know, and you're brand new. You're brand new. You're going to be brand
I'm
new.
so happy.
I'm happy for you. And thanks for helping us, and thanks for sharing this with people. Yeah. And you guys, I'm going to go to the computer now, and I'm going to answer any questions you have. But please come on down and join us and have a great life.
Oh,
and
yes.
I know that I'm going to see you again.
Oh, yeah, I'm coming back. I'm going to find a way. I'm coming back.
I appreciate
this is for me.
Home.
Yeah.
I am with you.
I got to do this once a year. I don't know how, but
you're going.
You know, it just happens. She got me.
Peace, guys. From Rythmia. Peace out. We'll see you next week. Love you guys.